Navy veteran Dr. Luley is a psychiatrist with experience in trauma-focused therapy. He says the most difficult thing about PTSD is admitting to it.
It is not my fault. It is the best I could have done in the situation. I have something to give, and I am worthwhile, and that I am not alone.
My name is Edgar Misla. I was in the United States Marine Corps from the year 2000 to 2008. I did 2 combat deployments, both in Iraq. First one was in 2004 in Fallujah, and the second one was in 2005, based out of Al-Assad Air Base.
So I'm James Bradbury, 37 years old, had to remember that. 9 years active duty Army and 2 years in the National Guard.
I'm Sharon Bailey. I'm a licensed clinical social worker in the state of Texas. And I've been doing social work for over 30 years. Most of my experience has been in the military. So I train veterans to work with one another in a mentoring situation. So those that have been through, in the transition of coming out of the military, which is difficult in war, out of war, it's still a difficult transition. And so we train veterans to work with other veterans to help them through the process.
Yeah, PTSD and combat stress have made things interesting, to say the least. It's like riding an emotional roller coaster a lot. My wife now can tell what kind of mood I'm going to be in by the way I get up and get out of bed.
When I first got diagnosed, I was like, okay, I'm just going to go through the motions. They had me seeing a psychotherapist. I went twice a month in the beginning, and I started getting, I built my frustration up more over time versus in the beginning. In the beginning, I was like, all right, this is what they're telling me to do. Because I was still military oriented. They're like, all right, well, this is what they want me to do. I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna go there. That's what they want me to do. I'll go, I'll show up, I'll talk. But those issues weren't as bad as they get throughout time. The longer you go with it, it becomes more difficult if you're not getting any type of treatment.
There's basically 4 symptoms that we kind of focus on. To number 1, that they've had to gone through or seen, heard of a trauma, an event. So the other one is the feeling of re-experiencing that event. Flashbacks, nightmares, just constantly feeling like they're still in that environment, that there's something that also triggers them that gets them back into that. That could be a smell, that could be a vision of something, it could be even something that they heard, it could be the time of year, even that brings them back to that event, and then they're in their minds back there. The other thing is a numbing. They feel numb, they feel not alive, like it's this out-of-body experience. Some people say they feel like they're looking at themselves active, working, walking around and stuff like that. So it's an out-of-body kind of experience. And the other would be just a feeling of hyper-arousal. So they're always scanning, they're always on hypervigilance, they're like this cat on this hot tin roof, just waiting to pounce on something or waiting to be pounced on, depending on how they felt in that situation.
I don't feel like a majority of the general public has a stigma against veterans with PTSD. I think it boils down to different areas within our culture. For employment purposes, when I came out of the military, the first thing I was going to do, and I didn't really have my heart set on it, but I just knew it's something that I could do because I was around that structured environment, was go and join the law enforcement field. But when I got the diagnosis, I scored top scores within my county here in Rockland, but due to the fact that, I have those issues, it automatically disqualifies me from actually doing that.
It's like having a real dark secret that you don't want to tell anyone. You don't want anyone to know that you're dealing with this stuff. And I think that's a lot of mental illness, because there's that stigma behind all of it. So people don't say anything, and it's a shame.
Well, the stigma, period, when it comes to mental health in the military, because we're supposed to be badasses, not sick, not, broken. So for many of them, they, gone from one situation to the next by denying that it was even there. So you can only imagine if I deny I have a broken leg and I just kept running on it, jumping, climbing, and all that sort of stuff, I've only caused more pain, or more dysfunction or more injury to myself. So most of it, the stigma is, I'm not going to tell anybody that I'm broken, because if I do, then I'll be a broken soldier, Marine, Airman, and all of that. So we keep pushing. So if you start off with that mindset, I'm not broken, I can do anything. They're supermen and women. So they're not going to admit it to themselves. So when they come to the VA, then they're saying, hey, you do have a disability, you are broken. It's still not comfortable. That's not an identity that as a veteran we want to portray ourselves, because we've done some amazing stuff.
I work at the U.S. Military Academy. I'm in charge of the operations and training for the actual guard force that protects the gates over there. And what I've learned from my personal experience working with the military again, it's actually helped me cope, because I'm back into that environment that I'm so comfortable with, versus, working retail or something with somebody that doesn't know anything about my background or my leadership skills or my experience.
But because of, the shootings that happened in Fort Hood, Texas, or the veteran suicides that are on TV, or, these things that you hear in the media are all attributed to mental illness, that mental illness. And it's like, oh, we don't want that guy working with us just in case. So I was humbled very quickly, coming from this gung-ho military type of mindset to, I'm going to do a lot of odd jobs that I thought I was better than, until I accepted the position I'm in now, working for the government, where I'm surrounded by veterans and the transition's so much easier into a civilian lifestyle.
My wife's been one of my, if not the biggest backbone that I have now, because I'm all about that tough love, and she's like, you're gonna get through this, you do this. She pushes me, basically. Like, she pushes me to become a better person, and I want that. I needed that. That was like the best thing that ever happened, besides meeting my wife, is having my daughter. I mean, that, if anything, becoming a parent becomes a whole new mission in your life. So it's like the ultimate push. You can't just give up when it comes to your kid. Now, you have to fight forward to make sure that your daughter's happy, Like, for instance, we just had her first father-daughter dance. I was pretty nervous. Like, I had, the anxiety creeping up and everything like that, but I fought through it, and we had a great time. She does good. So that's my main priority, is just make sure my wife is happy and my daughter gets to experience everything in life.
When I was diagnosed back in 2013, my ex-fiance, come to find out she wasn't as much on my side as I thought she was going to be. So I really had to face a lot of that anger and negativity and being scared all on my own. My daughter's 13. She was at the tail end of my first marriage. Having my daughter and her being back here was, you want to be around for it and you want to be part of it, and I felt like I had no reason to be. She was better off without me. So I'm glad that changed, because I love having her and being part of her life and getting to see her grow.
We have 20 veterans a day that are killing themselves, that are taking themselves out of the fight. And the problem is that we're not admitting that we're hurt, and we have to admit that we're hurting. And if there's any other message, there's no shame in saying, to take a knee. We need to take a knee. And so treatment isn't, it's not soft, it's not easy, but it's necessary. It really is. And I think it's really helpful if you can do it with someone you trust and you can unpack it. And, and since it's a hard journey, we have vet-to-vet program where we can walk alongside people. We don't do therapy. We can be a distraction even. And in our program, we also have socials, the veteran socials at the New City Library. So if you want to come and talk, you can. If you don't have to. Get some good food and, just be in the environment. Sometimes we just need to know there are people there if I'm not feeling comfortable.
I don't think there's a recovery from PTSD. I think there's just you're going to find a way to adjust your life around it and live the best life that you can.
And lastly, what does having PTSD mean to you?
It means that I have an illness. I have something that I have to deal with, and I have to treat it as best as I can. Like I said, there's no magic cure-all for any of it. So you'll have your ups, you have your downs. You have to be cognizant of them. You have to be mindful that it's not always going to be a good day and it's not always going to be a bad day. But you have to treat it like it's going to be another day. It's always going to be something else.
What does having PTSD mean to you?
It's like this big cloud that follows you all day long, and sometimes it's strikes a bolt of lightning throughout the day. And gets it's annoying. It's just I would love for it to go away. But sometimes, as you grow with it, you just pop that umbrella up. I'm gonna have the best day I can. I try not to let it get the best of me anymore. And every day is a daily struggle. Every day will be a daily struggle. There's no denying that. Every day is gonna be a daily struggle, but you gotta make the best of it. Yeah.